Long ago, in the great kingdom of Zoriba, a terrible famine struck. The rivers dried up, the land was bare, the people of Zoriba were starving. Outside their city, the warriors of the Kundu surrounded them. No food could come in, no one could escape. For many moons, the people suffered. They prayed for a miracle. One morning, a group of outcasts arrived at the city gates. They were weak, covered in dust, but their eyes were wide with unbelievable news. The Kundu warriors were gone. Their camp, once filled with soldiers, was empty, and inside, food, water, gold, left behind. Inside the great palace, King Mansa sat on his throne. His face was full of doubt. Could this be true, or was it a trap? Standing nearby was Tao, a simple servant. He was no warrior, no noble, but he was wise. Tao, my king, if the Kundu warriors plan to trick us, why would they leave behind their food and weapons? A true warrior never abandons his blade. Let us send scouts to see for themselves. If this is a trap, we lose only a few men, but if the news is true, we save the entire kingdom. The king thought for a moment. The room was silent. Finally he nodded. You speak wisely, Tao. We will send scouts. That night, a group of warriors rode out to the Kundu camp. Their torches flickered in the darkness. Their hearts beat fast. What if the enemy was waiting? But as they arrived, they stopped. The camp was truly empty. Tents stood undisturbed. Food sat untouched. Swords, shields, and gold lay in the sand. The enemy was gone. But why? The scouts followed footprints leading away from the camp. They saw something strange. The Kundu warriors had fled in panic. They had dropped their weapons, their food, even their treasures. Something had terrified them so greatly that they ran without looking back. The gods had sent a great fear upon them, and so they vanished into the night. Back in Zoriba, the palace doors burst open. The scouts ran inside. My king! The Kundu warriors have vanished. Their camp is full of food. The famine is over. The people rejoiced. They sang, they danced, they filled the streets with laughter. Mothers held their children close, whispering prayers of thanks. Inside the palace, King Mansa turned to Tao, the humble servant who had spoken wisdom. He placed a hand on his shoulder and said, Because of your wisdom, we did not remain in fear. Today, you have helped save a kingdom. And so, the kingdom of Zoriba learned a great truth. Wisdom does not come from wealth or power. It comes from truth. A great leader listens, not only to the rich or the strong, but also to the humble. For sometimes the smallest voice carries the greatest wisdom. In many societies, servants and workers are often seen as inferior, their voices ignored, and their wisdom dismissed. But what if a servant holds the key to survival? What if a leader's success depends not on his own wisdom, but on his willingness to listen to those beneath him? In the book of 2 Kings 7:12-15, we find a powerful story that challenges the way we view servant-master relationships. This story takes place in ancient Samaria, a city under siege by the Aramean army. The people were starving, hope was lost, and even the king, who was supposed to lead with strength, was consumed by fear. But in the midst of this crisis, a servant stepped forward. He was not a general, a prophet, or a nobleman. He was a mere servant in the king's court, someone who, in many cultures, would not even be allowed to speak in the presence of royalty. Yet, in this moment of desperation, he offered a simple piece of advice, an idea that would change everything. This story is not just about war and victory. It is about respect, wisdom, and the value of every person in a household or kingdom. It teaches us that true leadership is not about status, but about humility, about recognizing that wisdom can come from anyone, even those considered lowly by society. Did you enjoy this African folktale? If so, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful wisdom stories.